Hmm. Okay. All right. What about, let's give her some feedback. Something that you thought that she did well, Pak Eki or Pak Fajar?
Well, I think Ibu Siska has made very thorough research before to get some materials, and I see that her presentation is packed with a lot of information, especially in the low point of view.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she can more improve if the line of the words in on each slide is limited to the 6 lines, as we know that from the YouTube video that was released by Ibu Jane on the previous meeting. We know that a good slide would be no more than 6 lines, and also
6 lines, yeah.
yeah, 6 lines, and also the first line, the heading. I think the font for the heading can be a lot can be smaller, so that the audience will be focused more on the content rather than the title.
You know, sometimes too, this is for all of you, but sometimes rather than having a lot of information on a slide, sometimes, for example, the slide when she was talking about, you know, when she was talking about the prisoners and all that, instead of having a lot of information, words, you could just have some pictures of a prison, or, you know, something that will make the audience remember her idea, but you don't have to have all the words.
Yes.
And the words can come from you and not from the slide.
Yeah.
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 But
it
I
was
think
a lot.
I just found a new knowledge about that the company cannot force their labor due to the force measures like this pandemic era. So I think it is very valuable information for me. And but I just want to ask you one question. One question. If they cannot be fired, do they still have salary from the company? Is there any regulation that push the company owner to pay the salary of their workers?
Yeah, the government can push them to pay the salary of the labor that they.
So even though they work at home, they still have their salary, right?
Yeah, and even we work from home, that but we work. We work.
Yeah,
we work. They are not diam gitu, tidak diam.
Yeah.
But there are some jobs that you really can't do from home.
Yeah.
Like
so
doctor.
for some people, it's hard to do. Yeah. And I also think that in a pandemic like this, even if you have a regulation like that, because it's so widespread, how do they enforce it? There's so many restaurants, hotels, you know, that probably are going bankrupt.
Yeah.
You know, so they have no choice but to let everybody go.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, it's really difficult. So I think the presentation that you gave us is very, very valuable for us, especially in this era. I just find out that the regulations is not made only for the health sector, but also the economic sector, politics sector, security and defense, and all the sector here in Indonesia are mainly involved in many regulations. So without regulation, our country is in chaos.
Yes, it's true.
But now the regulation is not implicated. It's not
applied. Yeah, cannot be applied perfectly.
Hard right now, I think,
it's like
to apply.
It's like the regulation.
Yeah, it's difficult. Pak Eki, do you have a comment?
I think it's well organized. So the information, she wants to give information, and I think she hoped that us can get the information from her presentation, and we got that. And maybe I agree with you, Jane, that maybe picture can as a visual aid. So it is so it's just not the text.
And not so much text.
Yeah.
Yeah, not text. And I don't remember, but are you having a welcome in the first at the beginning?
She introduced herself, I think.
Yes, introduce it.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ibu Siska, for your presentation. Did a good job.
I'm sorry. Please apologize for my weakness.
It's okay. That's the
Oh,
only
just
way.
human.
The only way we get better is if we keep practicing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But I hope the English presentation class will be continue.
Hey, agree with you. I will
Okay.
propose it to the vice rector. The first vice rector, I will propose it. How if we prolong our session?
Okay. You can ask about that. All right. Are you ready, Pak Fajad? We're ready to hear your presentation.
Okay, I was born ready.
You were born ready. Awesome.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can you see my presentation, my slide?
Yes.
My visual aid? Okay, and then we go. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Fajar. I'm a doctor from medical faculty, and I'm here to present my study about reliability of a common digital body scale to determine body composition. Actually, this presentation is quite have a lot of resemblance with the previous speaker, Dr. Rizky, because it is this involving about how to measure the body weight, how to measure the body composition, and how to prevent ourselves from getting obesity. We'll split this presentation into 4 subtopics. First, I will introduce about my background about on this study, and also I will introduce you about the methods. And the third part is I will present my results and discussion, and the final part and the most important thing is the conclusion of this study. Okay, first of all, for the introduction, as we know that from the previous speaker, Dr. Rizky has told us about the obesity. Today, the obesity is an epidemic, pandemic that happened in all part of the world. In America, 1/3 of the citizens are overweight. So we can see that the overweight is a disease. Overweight and obese is a problem for us. Why it is a problem? Because from obese, from the overweight, from the excessive body weight, we can contract cardiovascular diseases, cancer, and also diabetes. Those are the non-communicable diseases that contribute to 71% of death around the globe.
Wow.
It is very, very crucial problem. Today, we are our attention was converted into the coronavirus, but the real threat that we have dealt since a long time ago is this disease. So, if we know that the problem can produce death in the future, so how can we manage? So, actually, it is easy as energy in and energy out. How to maintain our energy out? Well, Dr. Rizky has told us about how to doing some exercise, regular exercise, yeah, 115 minutes a week. can be divided into 3 sessions. Yeah. Well, that was me. I was riding in the mountain on the pine forest with the clean air and also some relief that I have conquered. An uphill battle. And if we can do it regularly, so I think we can manage our body weight, we can manage our fat. And the second one, we can try to manage our dietary intake. How to manage our dietary intake? Well, the government has released the rule about how we fill our dish every day on each time we eat our lunch, breakfast, and also dinner. The composition must be fulfilled with protein, carbohydrates, and also the fat himself. But how do we know that our management to maintain our energy in and our energy out is correct? Well, there is no other way than we evaluate our management. How we evaluate? Well, we have various methods to evaluate the body weight. We can use the scale. We can measure our waist circumference. We can measure our skin folds, and also we can measure our height, just like Dr. Rizky told us, to get some BMI. But as we know, and I'm really thankful to Dr. Rizky because he has explained us about the limitation of the body mass index itself. The body mass index itself cannot be measured. It can't be measured the body composition. It only can classify the body into overweight, normal, obese, or low. But we can see how the body composition was made around ourselves. So thankfully, by advanced technology, we have this device. This is a device called BIA, or Body Index Analyzer. It is similar to the classic body scale, but it has more advantage to see our body composition. As we know that our body composition consists of water and non-water. And you can see that, and you know that fat is a non-soluble mass. So it is hydrophobic, and can be measured through this device. Yes, this device is small, and we can get it directly from the online shop, or maybe from the modern supermarket. But actually, this device is a miniature for this golden standard. This is a golden standard for the body composition measurement. It is called dual X-ray absorptiometry, and unfortunately, we can't have it at home. In Indonesia itself, as far as I know, that only only Rumah Sakit Cipto Mangunkusumo in Jakarta who has it, and another hospital in Surabaya. So this is a very expensive, very expensive device, and we can't have it. We barely can have it at home. So, see, here is the question for this study: can we rely on this BIA device to measure our body composition? Does this BIA really can be reliable comparing to this golden standard? Yeah. So here is the methods that I was conducted from the study. I was collected several people, and I'm also divide them into 2 groups, which enter the respective room, and on each room there were 2 BIA devices. The design for this room was designed to minimize the cross-contamination between the first exam and the second exam. And then the result was gathered in a cloud, so we can retrieve it anytime we like, yeah. And then the data are analyzed by the Bland-Altman plot. It is methods to measure the agreement between the variable between numerical variables, because as we know that body composition is numeric, it is percentage. So we use these methods to analyze how much the difference between the first and the second exam. We know that this device is reliable if the first and the second exam does not give us a lot of difference. So it is very reliable. The number won't be deviate a lot, changing a lot from the first exam. And here is the results. There were 89 subjects, consisted of mostly females, and their age was 19 years old, and the median body fat was in 29%, visceral fat 4.5%, skeletal muscle in 26%. And as you can, we can see from this table, this is the table about mean of difference between body fat exam, visceral fat exam, and skeletal muscle exam. The less difference, so it would be a greater reliability from this device. And you can see that the smallest number mean of difference is appeared in this skeletal muscle measurement. So from this table itself, we can know that this device is reliable, especially it is the best, it has the best reliability in measuring the skeletal muscle in body. So this is the Bland-Altman plot results. The LOA here is not stand for the letter of acceptance, but it is stand for limits of agreement. The narrowest the limit, so it would be the best, it will be better. So we expect the narrowest limit. So as we can see, the LOA of body fat is 12.52, and the visceral fat LOA is 9.17, and the skeletal muscle is a lot smaller. It is 2.2. Here is the technical graphic from this Bland-Altman plot, and you can see the method for the measurement here. The subject was standing above the BIA device, and their feet must be covered all the electrode, and also the hand position must be perpendicular to the body axis, and they must firmly hold the grip, the second electrode that for the hand itself. So this is some of the requirements that must be fulfilled and doing correctly to get the perfect measurement. So the conclusion is this common digital device can be used. This common digital BIA can be used as a reliable device to measure muscle and fat mass as well, and it has specialty in measurement of the muscle mass. So if you have entered the gym and and you want to see that your muscle is changing, it can be used to measure our muscle correctly. This study was sponsored by the UNISBA Medical Faculty Research Unit, and this is our team and also our respondents. We were doing this research for 1 year of academic year. Well, that was all of my presentations, and I'm happy to take questions from you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, I'm glad it's over.
Great. So I have a question. So what is the outcome of this cohort research or study?
Okay. So I think this study, this cohort study has two purposes. It has primary objective and the secondary objective. The reliability of this device is a secondary objective of this research, but the primary objective is to measure the incidence of the hypertension between the teenage. It is our primary objective.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had a question. Sorry, my computer the battery was low. I'm trying to plug it in. Hopefully I plugged it in good enough.
Okay.
I had a question about what is the difference between median body fat and visceral fat?
Okay. I forgot to tell you about the difference between the body fat and the visceral body fat. So the body fat is fat that accumulates in under our skin, but the visceral, it is a fat that accumulates inside our organs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyone have a comment they would like to make? Something that you saw that was effective with Pak Fajar's presentation?
Yes, I think it's a very effective presentation. You introduce yourself at the beginning and the content is well organized and your voice.
Quite sexy, right?
Yeah. Hi.
Bedroom voice.
Good. Very good. So, but the body language, maybe the face expression is not too.
Okay.
Pretty much the same. It's harder in a.
We have the same. The flat. Yes. Zoom
it's harder in a Zoom presentation to really work on the body language aspect. Yeah,
especially due to my skin tone, I must near this source of light. If I'm going farther, and
it's
you can
dark.
see my face at all.
Yeah.
And am I going closer? Nah, you can see it that my face is glowing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe your hands could be like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you give a good technique because you illustrate your personal story regarding the biking in the mountain.
Yeah.
You give a good visual aid. No, so not so many texts. I think it's good proportion, and you conclude at the end of the presentation. So great.
Thank you.
Ibu Siska?
No, I don't have any. It's great than me.
Well, thank you. You are great too.
We're not comparing.
Yeah.
We're not comparing. We're just looking at each person and how they. But I agree with some of the things that Pak Eki said. Using a personal example is a good technique to get your audience to, like, it attracts their attention. When you start telling a personal story, people they're like want to hear the story. They want to hear the example. Also, you use questions, what we call rhetorical questions. So you would give a question and then you would proceed to give the explanation or the answer. That was good. I agree with Eki as well about the content of your slides, pictures, graphs, things that people could look at and understand how that applied to what you're saying. I think the only thing I would say, and just because this is the where I think probably for Pak Eki, the presentation was like he understood everything. But for me and maybe Ibu Siska, because we are not medical faculty, It was a little bit technical, but that's okay. That's okay. But and obviously this presentation was made to present to other people in the medical field, so they would follow. It would not be difficult. But that would be one thing, is if you know who you're going to be talking to, then you might need to think, okay, what background are they coming with? What will they be able to understand? Yeah. But yeah, and your conclusion was very clear and concise. So yeah, good job. Good job.
Okay, thank you, Vijay.
All right, well, I appreciate all of you taking the time to prepare your presentations and to come onto this Zoom call today to share your presentations with one another as well as with me. Who started recording? Was that you, Paeki?
I'm doing the recording.
Okay. So I already, I'll let them know that I forgot about recording. So Paeki, did you record yours? No.
No, we record Paeki on our memory, but not in laptop memory.
Yeah, it's in our minds. So they will just have to take my input instead of watching the recording themselves. And same with Ibu Siska. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. I was just excited to hear your presentations, and I forgot about the recording aspect.
Yeah.
So.
But I was recording part of Ibu Siska presentation, half of the presentation of Ibu Siska.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have any questions for me before we conclude our class?
Well, it's quite sad that our meeting has come to an end.
Yeah.
I think it is a very valuable lessons that I have here.
Good.
Thank you very much, Vijay.
I hope so, and I hope that maybe even because so much of the lesson material was put on WhatsApp, that maybe you can go back and even save some of it, or watch the videos again, or use the material.
Wah, hilang.
Baterai kayaknya baterai.
Hilang. Di pause dulu nih rekornya ya. Baik, recordingnya sudah jalan, Bapak dan Ibu semua. Ibu Jenny juga sudah meninggalkan kita karena laptopnya meninggal. Innalillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Jadi mudah-mudahan ada klub selanjutnya ya untuk masukan ke Ibu Wati bahwa kita teh memang butuh klub seperti ini. Jangan sampai Unisba teh cuma jago kandang aja gitu. Kita teh kapan mau ke ASEAN gitu kan? Kalau mau ke ASEAN ya speech kita harus bisa lah, bukan harus bagus sih sebenarnya, ya harus orang ngerti weh itu hungkul. Dan kita kan yang namanya bahasa Inggris mah ada Singaporean English, ada Malaysian English, ada Sundanese English. Kita dengan logatnya masing-masing ya.
Iya Inggris ini.
No penting mah kita bisa menyampaikan kan ya Bu ya. Jadi mudah-mudahan nanti lab bahasa juga bisa mengakomodir keinginan kami dari dosen-dosen yang ingin agar Unisba ini maju, kemampuan bahasa Inggrisnya juga menjadi lebih baik. Mungkin teman-teman kita yang nggak datang ini karena mungkin ngerasa aduh malu sama native speaker gitu, sama guru dosen bahasa Inggris yang lebih ahli. Kita mah kan memang besar kemaluan ya Bapak dan Ibu semua. Iya, tuh karena gede pisan kemaluan. Jadi besar kemaluan. Jadi kita tuh jadi susah untuk maju karena malu gitu. Mungkin kalau misalnya kita isinya semua dosen gitunya kan mungkin lebih rileks mungkin ya. Nggak ada gurunya gitu kan, nggak ada native speakernya, mungkin itu lebih rileks. Mudah-mudahan bisa diakomodir oleh. Mungkin ada masukan dari Pak Rizky?
Apa ya? Ya usulnya udah bagus ya kalau meneruskan English Club. Cuman memang harus ada setiap pertemuan itu harus ada target-targetnya gitu, ada aim-nya, ada topiknya gitu. Jadi kita mau ngapain nih ya, kadang-kadang kita balik lagi kalau misalnya cuma ngomong doang jadinya masih nggak maju-maju gitu, masih di langkah awal aja. Dan cuma kayak my name is aja gitu gimana introduksi. Tapi kalau misalnya udah ada aim, oh coba nih sampai bisa ngomong ini, nah itu biasanya lebih.
Siap. Bu Siska mungkin, mangga, silahkan masukannya Bu.
Ya, setuju. Dan kalau saya pikir sih yang sekarang ini mungkin basic kali ya, basic teorinya ya. Teori bagaimana cara mempersiapkan presentasi ya.
Basic tapi sangat berguna.
Maksudnya gini, harusnya kan seperti kalau kita les di luar itu kan kayak di TBI dan lain sebagainya itu ada step ya, step 1, step 2, step 3. Nah, pengennya sih ada step-stepnya gitu. Sekarang misalnya step 1, nanti lab bahasa ngadain lagi step 2, tapi tetap kan orang kemarin gitu. Yang kemarin di step 2, terus sampai nanti jadi expert gitu. Itu kan
levelnya.
Ya, levelnya gitu. Jangan, saya kan udah ikut 2 kali. Yang kemarin
2 kali, Bu?
Yang kemarin kan writing kan. Terus kemudian saya juga sebenarnya pengen juga writing kemarin, cuma waktunya kan bentrok. Jadi saya pilihlah yang presentation, memberanikan diri soalnya karena saya kan miskin vocabulary sebenarnya, tapi ya nggak apa-apa lah, kesempatan kan nggak datang 2 kali gitu. Cuma kayak kemarin lagi gitu, setelah selesai tidak diteruskan, tidak dinaikkan level, tidak lagi ada kelanjutan. Jadi ya saya rasa seperti sia-sia gitu.
Baik, ya, kuncinya konsistensi ya, konsistensi.
Nah, kalau menurut saya sih perbandingan dari yang guru yang sebelumnya sama yang sekarang ya lebih baik yang sekarang.
Oh beda Bu dulu?
Dulu itu kan dari orang Polandia.
Oh.
Yang ngajar di Unpas tuh Miss Kaja kalau nggak salah namanya, itu Inggrisnya Inggris British. Susah saya cerna untuk ini. Kalau yang American English kan agak dikit bisa lah.
Biasa karena kita biasa nonton Hollywood.
betul film-film Hollywood. Itu Pak Fajar. Di sini ini lebih baik lah gurunya, teachernya gitu.
Oke, mungkin itu saja. Bagaimana Pak Rizky?
Kalau misalnya mau belajar, kan kalau belajar itu kita tuh seperti anak kecil kalau suka nurutin orang tuanya ya. Pertama itu menurut atau mengcopy. Bagaimana caranya melihat dulu, terus mengikuti. Nah, gimana kalau misalnya nanti kalau misalnya belajar lagi gitu ya, kalau ya imitate aja gitu, imitasi aja, meniru, susah sih, meniru
susah,
gitu.
kalau native English memang susah itu mikir bahasa Indonesia.
Salah satu, misalnya kan yang kita suka lihat kan TED Talk gitu, jadi kita meniru satu TED Talk, tapi yang nggak usah yang panjang 15 menit, tapi yang 3 menit, 5 menit, dan itu tiru aja gitu, dari gayanya, dari apa saja yang diomongkan, dengan terbiasa misalnya. Sudah terbiasa dan tanpa melihat gitu, udah cobain niru, terus coba menerikannya dengan cara tanpa melihat TikTok-nya, itu saya rasa bagus itu.
Ya, oke. Ya, mudah-mudahan itu bisa jadi masukan buat lab bahasa dan juga buat UNISBA, pimpinan UNISBA. Mungkin nanti dari kelas ini ada tunjangan khusus untuk mengikuti international conference gitu kan. Mungkin aja kan, namanya juga usaha, bener nggak?
Iya.
Ya. Kayaknya aku lah contekan dulu deh pertama kali deh.
Nggak apa-apa, jangan nggak apa-apa. Oke, itu saja mungkinnya saya tutup ya recordingnya untuk diberikan ke lab bahasa. Terima kasih banyak Ibu Jen, kemudian Ibu Indah, juga Ibu Wati yang sudah mengakomodir kami ya. Meskipun banyak yang nggak datang, tapi insya Allah kita mah hadir ya. Oke, itu saja. Terima kasih banyak semuanya. Semoga puasa kita diterima amalannya ya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.